If you asked someone back in the early 1970s what the fastest car on the street was, you'd probably get a different answer depending on where they lived. Out in Santa Monica, someone might have sworn by a Buddy's Boss 429 Mustang that annihilated anything it lined up against. Meanwhile, in New England, you might hear whispers about a mysterious Corvette packing a brutal big block that left nothing but rubber in its wake. Speed was the language of the streets, and muscle cars were everywhere, often just a paycheck away. But among all the factory-built and home-modified beasts, there was one car you could walk into a dealer and buy brand new. No wrenching, no guesswork, just pure, unfiltered performance. We're talking about a car capable of tearing through the quarter mile in the 9-second range right off the lot. And no, it wasn't a one-off Comet with a 427 SOHC or anything like that. It was the completely unhinged Baldwin Motion 454 powered Super Vega. Now, for those unfamiliar with Baldwin Motion, this was the result of a powerhouse partnership between Baldwin Chevrolet, a dealership in Baldwin, New York, and Motion Performance, a speed shop located just a few blocks away. The arrangement was simple but brilliant. Baldwin sold the cars, and Motion transformed them into monsters. And since these builds were sold through an actual Chevrolet dealership, some buyers could even finance them like a regular car. Throughout the muscle car heyday, Motion cranked out wild versions of Camaros, Chevelles, and even some ultra-special Corvettes. But near the end of their glory days came what might be their most outrageous creation yet, the V8 swapped Vega. Now, the original Chevrolet Vega, especially the first-gen models built between 1970 and 1973, wasn't a bad-looking little car. Think of it as a scaled-down Camaro. Clean lines, tidy proportions, but without much muscle under the hood. It came with a series of small inline-four engines, none of which could be described as fast. But the car's secret weapon was its platform. It was light. At just around 2,200 pounds in rear-wheel drive, the Vega was practically begging for someone to drop in a V8 and let it rip. And plenty of gearheads did exactly that. Hardcore drag racers discovered that with the right engine swap and some setup tweaks, the Vega could become a straight-line rocket. 10-second passes? Totally doable. 9 seconds? If you were brave enough. And because it still looked like a humble economy car, it also meant way cheaper insurance compared to a big block Chevelle or GTO. Eventually, DIY V8 swap kits started popping up everywhere. Even Chevrolet got in on the action, experimenting with a prototype Vega powered by an all-aluminum 302 small block pulled straight from the company's Skunkworks division. With that motor and a turbo 350 transmission, Chevy's prototype managed high 13-second quarter-mile times on a completely stock rear end. With a manual transmission and a Posei rear, that little aluminum V8 Vega could have been a real menace. Which brings us to the main event, Motion's take on the Vega. Motion saw the Vega's potential right away and started offering fully built, turnkey V8 versions that went way beyond your average backyard swap. These weren't just bolt-on kits. We're talking about complete performance builds you could buy ready to hit the strip. The entry-level Motion V8 Vega started at around $4,000, which was no small sum back then. That was more expensive than a brand new Z28 Camaro, which stickered for about $3,500. But you weren't buying a cookie-cutter Camaro. You were buying a hand-built monster that pushed boundaries most manufacturers wouldn't even touch. That $4,000 base model likely got you a decently built 350 small block. Not outrageous, but still very quick in a car that light. But if you had a little more to spend, say $5,000, you could upgrade to the Phase 3 version, which came with a 370 horsepower LT1350. At the time, this was one of the hottest small blocks Chevy offered. Motion didn't stop with just an engine swap either. You could outfit your Phase 3 Vega with a 4-speed M22 Rock Crusher transmission, a 12-bolt Posei rear end, beefed-up suspension, and all sorts of drag-ready tweaks. But things only got crazier from there. If your wallet could stretch even further, think $6,000 or $7,000, you could get your Vega fitted with a 427 or even a 454 cubic inch big block. That's right, a full-size big block stuffed into a subcompact car that originally had a 4-cylinder. The kind of fabrication required for that was intense. Custom motor mounts, serious exhaust work with side dumps, and even some cutting around the bell housing. But Motion pulled it off. With over 400 horsepower on tap and gobs of torque, these big block Vegas were borderline terrifying in a straight line. Sure, they didn't exactly handle well. With all that extra weight up front, they turned like a cruise ship. But nobody buying one of these was thinking about twisty back roads. These cars were built to dominate the drag strip, plain and simple, and the options didn't end there. Motion even offered turbocharged and supercharged versions of the 350 small block. According to Period magazine articles, you could pretty much spec your Vega however wild you wanted it. If it were up to me, I'd probably go for the naturally aspirated LT1 350 build. Just enough power to keep it streetable, but light enough to still enjoy throwing it around a bit. But what would you pick? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, if you really wanted to turn heads, Motion also had a signature look for these cars. Think bold stripe packages, larger keystone wheels, side exit exhaust pipes, rear deck spoilers, and even an L88 style hood. Oh, and if the standard Vega coupe didn't have enough space for your liking, you could get the full motion treatment on a wagon too. Imagine rolling up in your HEMI Charger only to get walked by a Vega wagon with side pipes. That had to hurt. As for production numbers, that's where things get fuzzy. According to a Motor Trend article, it's believed that only about 4 of the 454 powered Motion Vegas were ever built before the EPA stepped in and effectively shut the operation down. Joel Rosen, the man behind Motion, used to offer authentication services to verify the legitimacy of surviving cars. But sadly, Joel passed away in 2023, and with him went some of that historical clarity. So, while we may never know exactly how many Motion Vegas were built, what we do know is this. These cars were street-legal nightmares, some of the most extreme dealer-built machines ever to hit American roads. And chances are a few are still out there, hiding in garages or waiting to be rediscovered in rusted-out shells.
Vega is getting quite a reputation as a great little sports car, and as you can see, it's quite deserving. But Vega is so good at handling curves and turning corners, some of you have forgotten that Vega is, first and foremost, a great little economy car. It's low priced to begin with, and in our highway test, it's getting about 25 miles per gallon with the standard engine and transmission. So it's okay with us if you call Vega a sports car. Just bear in mind, though, that it's one of the most inexpensive sports cars you can own. Our little Vega.
The Folster family introduces Chevy's new little car, Vega. Actually, Vega is a family in itself.
Hey, Dad, can I take it with Junior next? Yeah,
This is the standard sedan. It comes with bucket seats, front disc brakes, and a highly responsive 140 cubic inch overhead cam engine. The hatchback coupe, a very sporty little car, but also very practical. The whole back end opens up and the back seat folds down. You'll love it.
See, honey.
This is the Vega Camback. It's a wagon and then some. Our fourth and final little car is actually a little truck. Vega, the little car that does everything well. Go see it, them, at your Chevrolet dealers.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode. If you enjoyed this one, hit that like button, share it with fellow gearheads, and be sure to subscribe to the channel